Move aside, nerd. Eugene wandered the hallways of Lakewater High School, pondering his purpose here. Back in California, he had it all. He had a large house, his parents had good jobs, and he went to a good school with many friends. Then what was he doing in Kansas? His parents said they had moved to seek a simpler life. He found that insane. But what could Eugene do about it now he couldn't move back? So he tried to make the best of his life as it was. He wandered around looking for a friend to talk to. Suddenly, a tall kid with a group of tough-looking friends jumped in front of Eugene and blocked his path. To Eugene, they looked like school bullies from the cheesy movies, big but dumb. "Let me through, please," Eugene mumbled timidly. The tough kids ignored him, still blocking his way. "Move aside, nerd," the tall kid finally ordered Eugene, as if noticing him for the first time. Eugene became mildly annoyed. What was their point? "I said move aside," the tall kid said. "And you do what I say, kid." "Yeah," parroted one of the tall kid's goons. "Do what he says." Eugene just stood there weighing his options. He did not want to succumb to them that easily, but at the same time he knew that they could easily take him down if he tried to act tough. "Why?" Eugene finally responded. "Oh well then, later, nerd," the tall kid said as he shoved Eugene hard into the faded blue lockers bordering the hallway. Eugene got up and brushed himself off. Ouch. He looked up and saw the bullies walking away laughing. Sheesh, Eugene thought. He never understood bullies. He never thought he would have to, because in California, bullies were something they told you about but you never actually saw, like a myth. Suddenly, a tall, worry kid with glasses ran up to him. "Eugene, is it?" he said, vigorously shaking his hand. Eugene tried to remember the kid's name. He thought it was Benjamin. "I'm Benjamin," the tall kid with glasses said. This new confrontation was just as surprising as the last one, but Eugene had a feeling that Benjamin was not here to harass him. "Ignore the bullies," Benjamin quickly said. "Come sit with us at lunch." He led Eugene to a lunch table in the corner of the bright tiled lunchroom. "Sit anywhere you like," Benjamin said. Eugene looked around apprehensively, wondering if the bullies were confronted him again. He breathed a sigh of relief seeing that the bullies sat in the opposite corner of the lunchroom, glaring at him. Benjamin must have seen him looking around, like a deer looks for a hunter, because Benjamin reassured him quickly. "Don't worry, they don't bother us here." Eugene sat down on the long metal picnic benches and took out his lunch. He ate mostly in silence, listening to the table's conversation. They talked about card games and other things that Eugene didn't know about. He was not particularly interested in any of their topics and just sat there silently. At least the bullies didn't bother him here. Then the lunch bell rang. Well, at least he didn't have to think about anything else anymore. After school, Eugene sought out Benjamin and his friends. "Hey," he said shyly, "you guys doing anything today?" "Sure, want to see a movie?" one of the friends said. Sure," Eugene said as he walked with his new friends toward the movie theater. After the movie, Eugene walked out of the theater with his new friends. Thanks. Thanks for everything today," he said. "Nah," one of the friends said. "That's what friends are for." "By the way," Benjamin said, "we're going to an orchestra competition tomorrow and we'll be gone the whole day. Don't die while we're gone, okay?" That night, Eugene lay in bed, tossing and turning. No friends tomorrow? Would the bullies attack him? The thought made his stomach do pirouettes. What if they did? Could he face them? Would they even come for him? Dozens of thoughts flew around Eugene's head as he lay in bed that night, but he had answers to none of them. He drifted off into a troubled sleep with these thoughts revolving in his head. The next day after school, Eugene paced the lockers aimlessly. He didn't know what he was waiting for. He spent the whole day silent, sitting alone at the lunch tables at lunch, standing in the corner in the hallway during recess, and now here. Was he waiting for his friends? Certainly not. They had already left. Was he waiting for the bullies? Not that either. Why would he want to see them? He swiveled his head around. Other people were milling around as if nothing was wrong. Didn't they know he would soon be annihilated? Across the hall, a group of tough-looking guys were chatting loudly. He thought they were members of the football team. Further down, a young couple was flirting. Ugh, he would never understand them. Eugene quickly looked onward. Even farther down the hall, there was a group of teenage girls in a circle giggling. no doubt gossiping about everything and anything they knew about. He laughed inwardly as he pictured how similar he would look to a soldier, like a hallway warrior patrolling his homeland. Suddenly, the monotony of the lockers was interrupted by something new. Among the perfect rows of faded blue lockers adorning the hallway walls, one locker was completely bashed inward. He gulped, hopefully that would not be him soon. As he approached the end of the hallway, he looked up. He gulped and all of the blood drained from his face. He was staring straight into the fat, ugly face of the lead bully. Now he was surely going to have it. "What's up, nerd boy?" the lead bully asked. "Want to get back to your studying?" The boys around him cackled wickedly. Eugene felt his face flush. "Leave me be," Eugene growled with a strength he didn't know he had, as he turned around to try and run. "Not so fast," the lead bully said, grabbing the back of Eugene's shirt. What could he do? He was trapped by the bullies, and there was no way that they could be convinced of reason. After what seemed like an eternity, Eugene made the decision. Time seemed to slow as he could hear the blood rushing to his ears as he tensed up for what he was about to do. Smack! A hand sang through the air, connecting with Eugene's face. Eugene's cheeks stung. For a fleeting moment, the pain was eclipsed by the thought that he was truly done for. His life flashed before his eyes. Smack! The hand whistled back across his face, striking his other cheek. His entire face burned. No, a raging inferno had just been started in his face. He felt the urge to just lie there and succumb to the pain, but he grasped at consciousness with all that he could. Eugene turned around and pushed the kid that was holding him, then proceeded to turn around and run. The bully, caught off balance, let go of him startled, but one of his goons stuck out his foot and Eugene tripped and fell, face first, into the ground. Pain lanced through his body. He felt a foot press into his back. Around him he heard gasps, and when he looked up, everyone had turned away. In the short time Eugene had been in high school, he more or less understood how people reacted to things. If you were in trouble, people would ignore you so they did not have to get involved in any situations, lest it turn nasty. "Help, I'm going to die," Eugene screeched. Several faces turned and looked to see what was going on, and they all saw the same thing, certain doom for the kid, and for themselves if they tried to help. One student, Robbie, who was engrossed in arranging papers in his locker, looked up and then decided to help. Robbie ran over to the end of the hallway, steeled his eyes and growled, "Stop, Billy." The lead bully, Billy, looked up at Robbie and tried not to dampen his strength. Everyone in the room, however, saw him shrink backwards ever so slightly. No one messed with the football jocks. They were strong, funny, and the cool kids on the block. Billy regained his composure after the initial shock. "Why should I stop, shrimp?" he sneered. Robbie glared at him. Billy regained his composure after the initial shock. "Why should I stop, shrimp?" he sneered. "Ooh, did I just hurt your boyfriend?" Eugene was certain that he saw actual fire in Robbie's eyes. Robbie gave Billy a chilling glare. He looked like he was going to knock Billy clear to the moon. Uh-oh, he grimaced. He looked up and saw that Billy was wearing an equally sick expression. With lightning speed, Billy struck out at Robbie. Robbie quickly dodged and pushed Billy into a crowd of his goons. While Billy was still reeling, disentangling himself from the net of friends, Robbie shoved Eugene to his feet and pushed him down the hall. "Gee, thanks," Eugene gasped, head spinning. He felt like he was about to faint. He swayed, trying to get steady footing, but eventually gave up, leaning against a nearby locker for support until his heart slowed. He looked up at Robbie. Robbie smiled down at Eugene. He had to be a few years older than Eugene, a junior or senior. "Stay away from them," Robbie warned Eugene. "They're nothing but trouble." "Thanks for saving my life over there." Eugene felt a goofy smile spread across his face. The adrenaline rush was beginning to slow. "No problem, I do it all the time," Robbie joked. They both laughed. "Hey, Eugene, the football team has a game tomorrow. You should come." "All right," Eugene smiled. The next day, Eugene sat in class waiting for the day to end. It was a Friday. Fridays were great because there was no school for the next few days. The bell rang, signaling the end of school. Eugene walked toward his locker, unafraid of the bullies. He was going to watch the school's football game. When he got onto the football field, he fist-bumped Robbie and his friends. It was the first game of the season, Lakewater High versus Hingle McCringleberry High. Despite its hilarious name, McCringleberry High was often lauded as the best school in the league. It was going to be a tough game. "Crush the enemy," Eugene told Robbie. "Don't worry, dude," Robbie replied. Eugene took a seat on the bleachers with Benjamin and his other friends. "I see you've met Robbie," Benjamin stated. Eugene tried to read his face. He could tell nothing from Benjamin's expression. "Yeah, he's pretty chill." A few minutes later, the football game had started. Their team punted the ball. The opposing team charged right up to the end zone, but then Lakewater High's immense defense pushed them back again. The McCringleberry quarterback threw a rocketing pass across the field, which was caught by a Lakewater defender. Lakewater now had possession of the ball. The crowd exploded in a chorus of cheers. Robbie, the quarterback, immediately launched the ball across the field. A runner caught it and made a perfect touchdown. Once again, the crowd dissolved into a screaming, cheering mass. Robbie hunted for Eugene in the crowd and nodded at him. Eugene knew that he might have to deal with the bullies later, but he knew he had friends who would be there to help him. For once, he knew that he had found a place in the school.